folks? Welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don, where I react to non-pop country. That could be red dirt, could be Cajun, could be bluegrass, could be folk, could be western, and absolutely a whole bunch of traditional and neo-traditional, and just non-pop. And Cody Jinks is absolutely non-pop. If you're new to country music, you'll see there's so many different types of artists out there, each with his or her own stamp. And Cody is absolutely unique. Just badass performer, let's put it that way. When Time Didn't Fly, and this is a gift request from Jason House. So Jason, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for this gift and request. And I love doing this. This just came out yesterday, this song. And on the album titled In My Blood, Jason House provided me with that information. But literally, when I grabbed the video from YouTube, it had just been uploaded to Jason's channel 7 hours prior. So there was another song that I reacted to within a day or two of it having been posted. It was Billy Dean doing a duet with somebody, a beautiful woman who also had been an actress. And I just remember thinking, wow, if those two had gotten together and had kids, I can't imagine what they'd look like. But Billy saw the reaction and reposted it on his channel. So I'm hoping my recent Billy Dean one also might get seen by Billy, because he's the one who got me into country music. With that as my background, I am going to just jump into this one. When Time Didn't Fly, this would be an interesting presentation. I think I know generally what the theme will be, but it might not be. It could be in the context of context specific, like in a breakup. Like when people are like, oh, where did the time go? It flies so fast. It's like not when time sucks, not when you're going through a very difficult time. It drags on. Every day drags on. If you're going through a divorce, a breakup, it's just a sad, confusing time, or you're trying to find purpose in life and don't have it, time drags on. So anyhow, it could be a context-specific song.
There's an old road buried deep down in my mind that I go to sometimes when I'm lonely. A little front porch. Man, if those rocking chairs could talk, I'd give anything at all if I could only pull the words out of these walls. When Jesus loved me, this I know, for the Bible told me so. And the sand was in my toes, not a glass. Throwing rocks and paper planes,
That's a lie.
leaving pennies for the train. Had more days down the road than in the past. But heroes never die, and time didn't fly.
How old is Cody now, Jason? Jason's in Missouri, by the way.
I couldn't wait to leave this place, take my foot off of the brake and hit the fast lane. If I could go back, I'd tell that boy to slow it down, keep that innocence around a little longer. Ain't no turning back the clock. When Jesus loved me, this I know, for the Bible told me so. And the sand was in my toes, and not a glass.
I love that line.
Throwing rocks and paper planes, leaving pennies for the train. Had more days down the road in the past. When heroes never die, and time didn't fly.
The tempo of this song is so appropriate. So well crafted.
Jesus loved me, this I know, for the Bible told me so. And the sand was in my toes, not a glass.
Says it all.
Throwing rocks and paper planes, leaving pennies for the train. Had more days down the road than in the past. Heroes never die. Time didn't fly.
Interesting line. Heroes didn't die.
Time didn't fly.
That's a nice breathy delivery there in the end. I love reflective songs like that. I'm a philosopher just by nature, however you want to define that, but I have an insatiable curiosity about the way things work, why things are done the way they're done. I like looking at cultures and social structures and psychologies and ideas and all this sort of stuff and putting different perspectives together. But retrospectives like this, brought into the current context of how he's feeling, he just wished he had more time left in life in one sense, but it's really about looking back on the childlike things, and he wished he could talk to that kid back then that he was, ask him to slow down, don't grow up so fast, keep your innocence longer, this kind of thing. But you can't live life in reverse, as we know. And the person that we are now is a product of the experiences that we had, the cultures, the ideas, the education. All the different things make us who we are now. And that's not necessarily a good thing. There are some things in our past that we wish were better. Many of us wish, whatever, that we grew up in better neighborhoods, or we had tighter families, or grandparents didn't die so young, or whatever. I mean, pick it, had studied harder in school, or went into a different field, or anything, But the thing is, life is so dynamic. Very little is certain. Very little. And in fact, our decisions, and I studied this back at Rutgers. In one of my philosophy courses, we looked at free will. Do we have it? Does it exist? How do we contemplate it? And I remember saying that, whether or not we have free will, whether our actions are being controlled by some mad scientist or supernatural being that's pumping ideas into my head and giving me the impression that I have free will when I really don't, it doesn't matter. It's better to live as though we have free will and that we're responsible for our own choices, good and bad. And then I remember my professor saying that you should read such and such a book because he developed that thought and has the same perspective as you. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. And of course, I didn't read the book. But that's the dynamic of life. We could look back and say, God, I wish I didn't say that to that person. There are some things I look back on, even, when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't say that to that classmate. There's some things that you could legit wish that didn't happen because it might not affect the ripples of time and how they'd play out, the butterfly effect. Where the butterfly effect was the idea that a butterfly flapping its wings like somewhere in Africa, like a month later, it sets off a chain of events that becomes a hurricane across the Atlantic a month later type of thing. Where just a very small, infinitesimal thing, imperceptible, sets off a chain. But the entire world is full of those chains of events because every moment, trillions, quintillions, whatever of events are happening that alter the course of what you're going to experience in a given day. Whether you run into that old high school classmate or not, whatever. Like me getting into country music, I'm flipping stations 30 years ago. I was into rock. I wasn't into country. I didn't like country at all. And I'm flipping stations on a Sunday, and I turned to WNEW, which is one of my 2 or 3 favorite stations out of New York, rock stations. One was out of Philly, one was out of North Jersey, and this one was out of New York. And Billy Dean's song, You Don't Count the Cost, is being played on it. I mean, what is that song doing on a rock station? But I just so happened to be in my car, just so happened to not be listening to one of my tapes or CDs at the time. And I'm flipping stations, and boom, there's that song. And I'm like, God, what is this song? It is absolutely stunningly beautiful. I eventually, a year or two later, tracked down the CD, get that one, get Sherry Austin's CD, Merle's Greatest Hits and Alan's Greatest Hits, because they were all like on sale in the same section at whatever store I was in. So I said, oh, what the hell? I'll get these too. And that started my country journey. Had I not flipped the radio station that day, I never would have heard Billy. I might not have this station today. The ripple effect of time. And that's what Cody's talking about here without talking about it, but that is what's going on, where we reflect back the good, the bad, but also the future gets shorter. Our own personal future gets shorter. And I like living life fully until that day comes. You know, a lot of folks look forward to retirement, and I never do. I never did. I never saw myself stopping working, because I didn't want to take all that I've learned about life and walk off on a golf course and just ignore the humanity. Younger folks want to hear what older folks have to say. And it's just, you have to be relevant and not overly negative. Oh, the government is out to get you. Oh, those corporations are evil. They're always out to get you. Young kids don't want to hear that. Be relevant, have something to offer them, care, and have some fun with it, and you'll be vivacious a lot longer, for example. So, yeah, Cody, I mean, I love his voice. I love his presentation. I love the drums in this. They were not overdone. I don't think they were drums in a box. Pretty sure they were live drums. This song was so appropriate to what the theme of the song was. And it's a pleasure to hear Cody singing a song like this, like a reflective type song. I don't know if he wrote it. I'm going to guess he did. He seemed to connect to it in a certain way. So, Jason, good choice. Good call. I'm going to rate this song. Obviously, you saw me get on a tangent on this, but that's what's going to happen because I connect to this song. This is how I process. This is how I help others process life. Put it that way. As a life coach, as a situation coach, a personality coach, however you want to depict the nature of my work, but the common word is life coach. This is how I process things. But you have to have a relationship in some way to the idea that we're going to die one day, that you're going to die one day, and kind of make a certain measure of peace with that so that you can live a fuller life. It will help inform your present decisions and even help put certain things in your past into perspective. So I'm going to rate this, and the number that popped into my head was a 9.3. I love the way he sang it. I love the patience. There was obviously a masculinity because it's Cody, but there was a sensitivity. And you're just not going to go wrong with a song like that. So I hope you guys reflected too. Brand new release. All right, guys, you can thank Jason House for that one. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video and keep rocking the country.